Okay, so we are live, and we're going to go back to Batman the Animated Series. So I decided to put this one on StreamYard because I'm a little more comfortable with the format on there, at least as far as if anybody shows up in the chat, I know where to look as far as StreamYard goes. Whereas with YouTube, it was kind of distracting me a little bit just straight on the YouTube app. But I did do my Mr. Freeze unboxing just straight onto the YouTube app because I kind of felt like yeah, I'm trying to conserve what time I have left on StreamYard until the 26th, and it's probably more important to do the episodes on here, the Batman the Animated Series episodes. But if you want to go check out my Mr. Freeze unboxing, that's up, so that's something else you can watch. Also, a couple of other things I want to show off is in the mail today. I got this 12-inch Bane figure, and if you saw my unboxing of the 3 3/4 inch Spin Master Bane figure, it's pretty much the same figure, only blown up to a 12-inch scale, and unfortunately without as much articulation. So we'll just go over it real quick. As arm turret rotates all the way around this way, arms move up about that far, we go down about that far. You can rotate his head, but only ever so slightly because this man has no neck. And the waist rotates all the way around, and unfortunately, that's it. No leg articulation whatsoever, which means that, according to my rules of what makes an action figure, this is not an action figure. This is a statue that you can move his arms. So, but I think he's going to look really cool on the shelf next to my other Batman villains. So, happy about that. Next is a custom project I've been working on, and I'm going to turn the light so you can see maybe a little better. And this is a 12-inch figure that I made. This is in homage to my personal favorite live-action Batman, Mr. Adam West. So, I've got a 12-inch figure of Michael Keaton. I've got a 12-inch figure of Ben Affleck. These are on here somewhere. So, yeah, somewhere around here. Where did I put that Ben Affleck? So, but whatever. So I gotta have Adam West, don't I? I mean, so he's not like actually like 100% an accurate recreation of what he looked like on the show. This is like a little more inspired by how he looked in the Arkham games when they had an Adam West skin for that. So almost like if you took, the Adam West Batman outfit and put it on the Arkham version of Batman, like that kind of thing. But I think he turned out really cool. That's a 3D printed head that I found on cults3d.com. I found this Adam West emblem on Thingiverse, and it's actually got like a cutout there where the bat is. So I just kind of heated it up enough so it would conform to the chest muscles, and then painted it in the black myself. And not so fast, Bat fans. There's one other thing that's cool about this is I actually made him an alternate head. So there is the contaminated cowl from the episode of the same name. How cool is that? So this is it was the second Mad Hatter episode where they did the contaminated cowl, and it was one of the episodes that made a really big impression on me when I was really little and first started watching the show in reruns. Is that Mad Hatter episode with that contaminated cowl? You don't forget something like that. So that one, Surf's Up, Joker's Under, and the episode with John Astin as the Riddler. I have very vivid memories of watching Batman and Robin on top of that giant cake with the quicksand icing. So it's funny that of the episodes that I remember most vividly from my childhood, two of them are some of the most maligned episodes that the show ever had. So that's kind of funny, but I just love the Adam West show. I think it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to put the default head back on there so he can look somewhat respectable. About as respectable as Adam West can look. So Man, where did I put that Ben Affleck figure? That's driving me nuts. Because I just had it over there on the couch. I'm going to put this back in here. This box is going to go into recycling sometime soon. But of course, like I've got other stuff over there I've got to take to recycling. So I'm wasting a lot of time, a lot of precious StreamYard time that I don't have because I don't get reset until the 26th. So let's go ahead and talk about this episode of Batman the Animated Series. This episode is called The Forgotten, which is an appropriate title because when I was going to prepare for this and I was typing in the episode into StreamYard, I could not remember what episode it was that I was about to watch next. Drawing a complete blank. So I just typed in Batman the Animated Series watch along and then went to my HBO Max and it was The Forgotten. I had forgotten all about it. But this is an interesting episode. It's a good episode. It does not. It's another one without any of the major villains on it, though. And it's a very gritty episode. And not only is none of the comic book villains are in this episode, but it's also an episode where Batman himself isn't in the episode much, or at least not in the guise of Batman. He's not even in the guise of Bruce Wayne. This is an amnesia episode, which is tropey as hell. but if there's anything that you should learn from Batman the Animated Series by this point is even when an episode is a tropey concept, they're going to do something cool with it. Like almost always. Like it's an episode where Batman goes blind here, like he's Fonzie or something. But they do some cool stuff with it. So and this episode is no exception. So let's go ahead and get started on it. Since I've been doing this for 7 minutes, and we haven't actually even started on the episode yet. I still don't know what happened to that Ben Affleck figure. There he is. Old man noises. He fell off the side of my couch. Go ahead and put Ben Affleck over here next to where the Adam West figure is. They look pretty cool together. I'm going to have to take some pictures of that later. Put them up on Facebook and Instagram. I'll probably put the Michael Keaton figure with him too. I've been neglecting the opening credits. I can turn this off now. I don't need this thing shining in my face. You guys aren't watching this at this point to see my ugly mug. You're watching this to hear me talk about Batman. Man, listen to that harmonica music. Like, you already know that this is going to be something different. This one's directed by Boyd Kirkland and written by a bunch of people whose names I didn't recognize. But it's a good episode. I like this episode. I'd said before, when I was talking about this on a previous episode, is that I feel like this could have been an episode of like a live action Batman show. And there's Bruce Wayne helping out with charity, as Bruce Wayne should. Instead of being, I don't have time for that stuff, Alfred. Old faces I miss seeing. Then about a month ago, a volunteer invited me. I'm telling you, something's very wrong. You talk to the police? Of course, but the police have their hands full. And homeless people disappearing is not big news. Oh, I love the way they did Bruce's face there. The way that they drew it. The expression on it. Fantastic. And he's got like a whole closet full of disguises. You see that one was labeled Gaff Morgan. So he's got like all these other identities that like he can appropriate. Like in the comics, you usually see him as like Matches Malone. And he will even do Matches Malone later on in this series. But yeah, it's kind of like It kind of makes me think of Batman Year One, where he disguises himself as like, the crazy old vet, and he's talking about how like, all it really takes is a change of clothing and a single detracting detail. So you see, he doesn't have anything like extreme, like, a eye patch or anything like that. He's just wearing like some dumpy old clothes. He probably had Alfred pick up from the Goodwill, and he put some gray in his hair and a little bit of stubble, and he's wearing a go to hell hat. They never show who killed Batman's parents in Batman the Animated Series, but traditionally, Joe Chill is depicted as wearing one of these go to hell hats. The flat cap is what it's actually called, but kind of the slang term for. I just like that term, go to hell hat. This guy's also got a go to hell hat. You've heard of like somebody saying like, I could kick your ass with one hand tied behind my back. He's literally got his hands in his pockets and he's making a fool of these idiots. There's a cat. He gets distracted by the cat though. Oh, Batman, that soft spot for cats you got. That's gotten you into trouble. Not for the first or last time. So we're not in Gotham City. Our main character is in neither of the identities that we know him best as. He's not Batman. He's not Bruce Wayne. He doesn't even remember who he is, as we'll soon find out.
Hey, stranger. You okay? I think so. Where am I? Well, opinions differ, but we all agree. It ain't Miami. Don't mind. Every chain has a community. I'm Dan Riley, he's Alfred Smith.
If Batman didn't have amnesia right now, he'd remember the name Dan Riley.
What is this? If it's moving, it's a rat. If not, it's a foot rat. Where is Warlock? Look. They have to eat. I have to eat.
This guy's almost always eating something in this episode. Basically, they just capture these dudes and use them for slave labor. Just pick somebody at random to make an example of. I absolutely love the music in this episode. Like, I know nearly every episode of this, I sing the praises of Shirley Walker and how they do such a great job. There's other composers that work on this show, but she's the main one. But this is one of those that always stands out in my head. And probably the most memorable thing about this episode, actually, to me, is the music. I'll oftentimes catch myself humming the little sub theme from The Forgotten. In fact, I'm curious enough, I'll actually talk to myself about it.
How you holding up? Okay, I guess. Remember anything yet? Yeah, I wonder if I ever will. Hey, you can't give up hope. Down here, that's all we've got to hang on to. I guess. So what will you guys?
It's cool to hear Kevin Conroy just kind of being Kevin Conroy. Because he's not trying to play Batman. He's not trying to play Bruce Wayne. So he winds up just kind of, I think, sounding like himself. If you saw Kevin Conroy in anything that he did before Batman the Animated Series, like his guest appearance on Cheers, or he was on a show called Ohara, which was a detective show starring Pat Morita, where he played a cop, and Kevin Conroy played the police captain. That's pretty much what he sounded like. And I noticed as Kevin Conroy got older, his voice started to kind of become Batman, whereas the Batman voice kind of became like his natural speaking voice over time. But man, that guy was a great actor, and he was great as Batman, and I don't think I'm ever going to stop missing Kevin Conroy, honestly. I feel like we lost him way too soon. Also, I like this episode because, like, we get to see Alfred be the detective. And Alfred ain't no slouch when it comes to that kind of stuff himself. We'll find out later on this series how Alfred had a history of being a secret agent. And that's stuff that all came from the comic books, where like he was like a, military veteran, fought in World War II, or at least he did in the 80s. When I guess they would have moved it up to like other combat. This is interesting, where he sees himself, Bruce laughing at him, and then Bruce morphs into the Joker. So, and that's Kevin Conroy doing the laugh there. So it's almost like we get to hear Kevin Conroy play the Joker. So that's interesting. He's just happy to help anybody that he can. But there's just so many people that need his help. He can't help all of them. Man. That hit me harder than I expected. That's... I'm sorry. Oh, man. You know how, like, sometimes something will just hit you so hard, man, and you don't expect it. I always really like that side of Batman where, like, it's not just that he fights crime, He really cares about people and he wants to help people. He doesn't want people to suffer. I think that's why I hated it so much in that Pattinson Batman movie where he was like, I don't have time to deal with this stuff. I gotta go out and, beat up people robbing liquor stores. I can't, give money to charity and run my parents' charity. What are you you're talking crazy, Alfred. Oh, God. You see how I got all choked up watching that scene from that cartoon, and there was more Batman in that one dream sequence than an amnesiac Bruce Wayne has, and there wasn't an entire Robert Pattinson Batman movie. I'm sorry. I don't want to talk about that movie anymore. I want to just enjoy this episode. Dude, Alfred is badass. I love Alfred. distant howling.
You did pretty good yourself. Maybe you just I just don't know.
Do you think maybe part of why he's having a hard time remembering might be the fact that he is a man with two identities and he's not sure which one is the real one?
Remember what you told me? You can't lose hope.
There's always hope. And of course that's gonna hit Bruce hard. And his parents behave and the bats. Oh, the intensity of that look, and then he just goes into the Batman voice. Oh, it's so awesome. There's two things you never put in track. One of them is Doctor Who, and the other one is Batman. I still got tears on my face. It's like I just wasn't expecting it to hit me that hard, man. I've seen this episode probably like 100 times. It's never hit me like that. I think that's part of why I really like this episode. Is like I said, he's not in his Bruce Wayne identity, and he's not in his Batman identity, and yet somehow they're able to use that to get like really deep into the core of the character. It's like that's kind of why I love this show. I really think that like of all the versions of Batman that I've ever seen, this one might just be the best one. You got Alfred like the Batwing. He's got his little cardigan and everything. Oh, it's like he's got such devotion, though. Sassy Bat Computer is sassy. Maybe you should have strapped in, Alfred. I'm just Oh, Spain. I thought it was England. You're supposed to be English, Alfred, you traitor. Aw. Ah. I love them so much. You gotta love Batman and Alfred. Yeah. Alfred brought him the suit. You gotta imagine this guy who's like out in like the desert. We're probably talking somewhere in like the Southwest or something. This guy had no idea that Batman was going to show up. It's not like, some crook in Gotham City where it's like, yeah, well, I figured I'd run across Batman at some point or another. This guy just no idea. I like the designs of the shotguns. You're used to more seeing like the automatics or the Tommy guns. But those wouldn't be appropriate here. Here they definitely have shotguns. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. Yes, Batman absolutely can see in the dark. He's got those night lenses. They already established that. The infrared that he had when he fought Killer Croc. They pronounced it power there. So I guess I'm pronouncing it correctly when I say Frank Power. I love that music. Danger, danger, danger. Batman lists a fat guy number 15. Like, see where Pat's to try to look at that guy. I'm not going to talk about that movie anymore. He's such a wuss. Batman makes jokes, people. Batman makes jokes. Huh. Yeah. Maybe I'll lose my memory and wake up a millionaire too. Womp womp. Oh man. That was such a great episode. I was telling you guys going into it, like, this is a good episode, trust me. And I was just going off of like what I remembered of it, but man, I think I undersold it. This is a really good one. It's definitely worth revisiting. This whole series is so great, and it's little gems like that kind of get forgotten about and overlooked, but they make it worth going back to revisit the whole series, like ones like this and Appointment in Crime Alley, like everybody talks about Heart of Ice or Almost Got Him or Two-Face Parts 1 and 2. Everybody talks about those episodes and how great they are. Harley and Ivy. Laughing Fish, like lots of great classic episodes of the show. But I'm finding it's worth going back and revisiting just to hear a lot of these just to watch a lot of these that kind of fell through the cracks. All right, so here's our cast: is Kevin Conroy as Batman, Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. as Alfred, Lauren Dreyfus as Salvo, Dorian Harewood as Dan Riley, George Murdoch as Boss Biggest. Really, his name was Boss Biggest. Big ass. Ian Patrick Williams as Ivan Williams. Sorry, I was thinking of the YouTuber Patrick Williams. Ian Patrick Williams as Ivan. Richard Mall as the computer, and I'm pretty sure he was one of the henchmen in the episode too. I recognize his voice. And Jay Thomas as guard number 1. So I have no idea who guard number 2 is. Maybe that was the one that Richard Mall also played. So yeah, The Forgotten, unfortunately, is an episode that is relatively forgotten. And I suggest that you go back and revisit it. Like, hopefully you were able to watch the episode along with me, and you got to see everything as I see it. But if not, go back and rewatch this one. It's a good episode, and it really hit me in like a really emotional way that I just was not expecting that. So it's pretty amazing that a kid's cartoon from like 30 years ago, over 30 years ago at this point, I think this one aired in 92, that it can still affect you like that, this is just such a great show. It's such a special show. It really is. And like, there's been good Batman cartoons since then. Like, I liked the Batman. I loved the Brave and the Bold, but nothing measures up to Batman the animated series. It's just the absolute greatest. So I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. I'm gonna stop this episode right now. But if you enjoyed it, please make sure that you like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. We're gonna do every episode of Batman the Animated Series, and yes, I'm including, when I say that, the Adventures of Batman and Robin, and I'm including the new Batman Adventures. And after that, I'm not sure. I might do Superman and then Justice League, because like I think that would be I think the most appropriate order. I could probably mix in new Batman Adventures with Superman the Animated Series, since they did technically air concurrently. I might consider that, but I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. So I would have to sit down and actually research like how all this stuff fits together. So, but that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. We will talk to you next time. Bye.